Alright, guys, so we're possibly getting a Wolverine sequel. According to Fox, they were in negotiations with James Mangold, and the studio was happy with what he got, what he came out with. So, according to Mangold, he's shooting the next Wolverine sequel after Apocalypse, and he's working with the X2 and the Days of Future Past writers. So we're gonna get possibly another solo film by 2017. Jackman's contract does end with Days of Future Past, but he has stated that if the story is right, he will definitely make a comeback. Okay, so with the new script out, there's only a number of storylines that Mangold can cover. Well, actually, there's a lot of them, but here's some of my favorite picks of Wolverine storylines. Of course, the Wolverine has already been covered, which was written by Chris Claremont and art by Frank Miller. So we're not going to get too much in that one into detail. We're going to go over to the other possible storylines that maybe Mangold can touch upon. Okay, so let's start with Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. This comic was also written by Chris Claremont, art by Al Milgrom. It was originally released in 1984 through 1985. Its issue span is Kitty Pryde and Wolverine numbers 1 through 6. Claremont and other writers have continuously revisited Wolverine's connections to Japan since the first miniseries, but rarely have these stories been as enjoyable as Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. This unofficial sequel introduces Wolverine's old sensei, Ogun. Readers receive an even closer look at what made Wolverine into the hard-drinking, hard-living warrior he is today. But as much as the story fleshed out Wolverine, it did even more for Kitty Pryde. Wolverine has had a long history of taking young female students under his wing. In this story, Kitty evolves from a naive young ex-girl to a hardened ninja, more confident in her skills. Perhaps Wolverine should have tried the same approach with Jubilee. The series has recently inspired an all-new ages ongoing called Wolverine First Class that focuses on the particular dynamic duo. If you enjoy First Class and want a slightly harder edge taker on the pair, you would do well to check this one out for trade. Okay, so next on our list is The Incredible Hulk Vicious Circle. It was written by Peter David, art by Todd McFarlane. Original date of publication was 1988. And so when Wolverine and Hulk first met, the former was assigned by his government to take down the latter. It was strictly business in this meeting. The lines are not as clearly drawn in the battle between man and the monster. Pretty much nobody wins. During this period, Bruce Banner existed as Grey Hulk, a cunning but brutish creature who was always lusted for a fight. Unlike his greener self, Wolverine meanwhile was doing his best to live a life of peace as taught by Xavier. But when you throw these two together in the middle of a snowstorm, watch out. What ensues is one of the most savage and bloody battles the two have ever been caught up in. When the dust settles, both are left to question their own thirst for violence. Okay, and then we have The Madripoor Knight, also written by Chris Claremont. You'll grow to learn that he's a really good X-Men writer. Art by Jim Lee. The original date of publication was 1990. The issue span was from Uncanny X-Men number 268. As time went on, it became more and more apparent that Wolverine's shadow past extended back untold decades. This issue of Uncanny X-Men peered the curtain all the way back to World War II, offering a classic team-up between Logan, Captain America, and Black Widow. At a time when the X-Men still existed largely within their own little bubble, it was a treat to see Wolverine interacting with so much of the extended Marvel Universe. Claremont explored more of the character's history in Madripoor, an island that has affected and continues to influence the course of his life. And of course, few artists have so defined the modern look of Wolverine more than Jim Lee. Lee was all over the X-Men books in the late 80s and early 90s, but this was arguably one of his crowning achievements with the team. Next we have Weapon X, written and art by Barry Windsor Smith. The original date of publication was 1991, and it follows the issue span of Marvel Comics Presents Volume 1, number 72 through 84. Quite possibly the single greatest Wolverine yarn ever spun. No bookshelf is complete without a copy of Weapon X. In 1991, Barry Windsor Smith delved deep into the Weapon X procedure that morphed Logan, the Man, into Wolverine, the Killing Machine. Rather than a look at these events from Wolverine's point of view, Windsor Smith tackled it from the viewpoint of his captors, including Professor Thornton and Dr. Cornelius. You may recognize the story from watching X-Men the Animated Series. You may think you know something of it by watching the X-Men movies, but you haven't seen anything until you read the original account. Windsor Smith tells a story that is brutally violent, haunting, and a touch of the surreal all at once. Okay, another story I recommend is Wolverine Origin. It's written by Paul Jenkins, art by Andy Kubert. The original date of publication is from 2001 to 2002, and the issue span is Origins number 1 through 6. For more than 25 years, Marvel had slowly been peeling back the layers of mystery surrounding Wolverine's life, but most answers only tended to dredge up more questions. It wasn't in 2001 that Marvel finally went all out and revealed to readers the earliest events of Logan's life. For starters, Origin revealed that his real name wasn't Logan. But, well, if you don't know, there's no point in spoiling it. Origin paints a tragic picture of a young man whose pleasant family life is torn apart, forcing him to embrace the beast within. Origin showed just how far back of many of Logan's defining characteristics extend, from his tendency towards doomed romance to his struggle to surprise his savage nature. And more than any other Wolverine story, it appears that this tale will factor directly into the new movie. Certain panels from Origin are mirrored almost exactly in the trailer. Consider Origin a healthy premiere. But of course, I would not recommend the film. And last but not least, New Mutants Part Two. Written by one of my favorite writers, Brian Michael Bendis, art by David Finch. The original publication was from 2004, and the original span was an Ultimate X-Men number 41. Wolverine is no pleasant, easygoing fella, even on his good days. That said, Ultimate Wolverine makes his classic counterpart look like a dainty maiden. Ultimate Wolverine is meaner, angrier, and even more quick to pop his claws when the situation gets hairy. His tendency towards killing takes on a tragic aura in Ultimate X-Men number 41. Though this issue serves as a part 2 of a part 6 story arc, it functions perfectly well as a standalone tale. The story opens with a teenage boy who awakens to discover he is a mutant. His power instantly kills anyone who comes close. Nick Fury, not knowing what else to do, dispatches the fast-healing Wolverine to meet with the young man. Many readers will see the ending coming a mile away. That doesn't rob those final pages of the power by any means. Bendis' script is usually quiet in the issue, creating one of the most haunting and emotionally effective Wolverine stories ever told. So that's it. Those are my pick. Let me know what kind of Wolverine stories you like, whether it be based by the films, the comic books, or any of the animated series. Comment below and let me know.